Tractor beam activated. It's pulling us in. Oh no!
Lieutenant Malloy has informed me that I would look pretty good with a mustache.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a new fun thing.
Really? This is my job? How did I win at life? But I did. I won. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh God. My God.
It's so good.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
That is so good.
Oh, wow. Sweet emotion.
You ever see a picture of a caterpillar pupa?
Come on.
But it was the thought that counted.
But it was the thought that counted. Exactly. We need no longer fear the banana.
Does it work on all fruit?
What about salads?
Boom, bitch! Yeah, I like that. That's good. Yeah, you look like the guy who's on the list because you know the DJ. Boom, that's what I was talking about.
It's true. He was just talking about that.
Hobo clowns are the most dangerous because they're hungry.
Now entering Glory Hole.
Egotastic FunTime.
Let's see what happens. Okay, everything worked. Everything worked. I had no time to prepare this stream because I was watching and recording, you know, so I can, you know, see what's going on, rewatch it and get all the little tidbits of answers. The Orville cast live Q&A discussion just ended just 3-4 minutes ago, you guys, and I was like, oh my god, they're running long. I gotta start my show. I thought I was gonna have 10 minutes to prepare. What's going on, you guys? Let me pop out my chat. So yeah, the Orville just had their live discussion. It was Peter Macon, Scott Grimes, Mark Jackson, Jay Lee, Kelly who plays Admiral Azawa on the show. And wow, Curtis Tate, what's going on? Let's see who's here right now. Ooh, Curtis, 104. I think it's supposed to be 100 degrees today, or did it go down a little bit? Because no, I think it's like stormy outside, cloudy outside, raining outside, and 100 degrees. I hate it. It's ridiculous. I don't go outside. All right, so right now we have, as far as YouTube is concerned, there's actually way more people here, according to the numbers. But Adam of Grayskull, Archmage Frey, official channel member Curtis Tate, Elihu Hernandez. I'm just gonna call you Ellie. What's going on? Gray 300K, Hiroshi, official channel member. Hiroshi loves you. Ian Cownley, dun, dun, dun. Jesper 117, John Eagleland, Kevin Scott 76, official channel member. Ludwig von Siegfried, MC Pecco, Norman Bellew, Philip Baca, Species 1571, Stephen Klein, and the Great Dilberto, and more names are popping in as we chat. And Stephen Klein.
I am told your people are known for creating some of the most sought-after pornographic simulations in the galaxy.
Oh man, if I had a job on the Orville, I can create some programs. If Bortus gets bored, I can create some programs for him, I guess. Boom, biatch. Here's some money. Thank you very much, Stephen, for helping to keep the lights on here at Egotastic FunTime. Talking the Orville. No, I haven't watched it yet. JP, did you watch The Twilight Zone with Gordon, with Scott Grimes in it? No, but we were talking about that a day or two ago over on the Egotastic Twitch stream. Actually, I got to watch the new episode of The Twilight Zone, or the premiere, which is available for free right now, because, you know, these streaming services got to give out some free stuff to get people to come in. We'll see what I think about it. Yeah, the panel, which just stopped, MC, just a couple minutes ago, was for GalaxyCon, which I think before the Orville stream, it was William Shatner, I guess, did a panel. And then they have panels going on all weekend. Just go to GalaxyCon.com, and I guess you can register for the free portion of these. I guess they're doing panels for free, or some of the panels for free. The Orville panel is free, but then after that, there's lots of extra options. You can buy a 2-minute one-on-one Zoom call with any of the actors. I'm not going to because it's pretty pricey. Pretty pricey for a 2-minute Zoom call. I felt that I mean, you can actually go meet these actors at an actual con when the world opens back up for a lot less money and get your picture taken with them. So I wasn't. It seemed a little too pricey, but you could get autographs. You could still buy autographs. A bunch of other stuff. Shout outs. The actors will record a shout out to you, to whoever you want. A bunch of options over there. But I'm all about the free option, you guys. So I was hoping that they were going to talk more about season 3, but there wasn't a lot of time. It was like 50 minutes, 52 minutes exactly. So one of the great things, the best thing about seeing all the actors from the Orville, well, 5 of the actors from the Orville on screen, is they were so happy to see each other, and that shined through more than anything else, because, you know, they, just like us, are trapped at home for the most part, especially over in Hollywood. They're all social distancing and quarantining themselves, so they haven't seen each other in months and months and months, and when they all popped up on screen, they were so happy and so almost giddy about it that they just wanted to chat with each other and get caught up, and they were having the best time. It was actually hard to rein them in because they were so excited to see each other. And so, you know, they were just cracking wise, making jokes, making fun of Peter, making fun of Scott. Scott Grimes and Jay Lee kept doing this bit throughout the whole hour where they were pretending that they were in the same house, that Jay Lee was just living was living with him, a couple of rooms away, and so they kept yelling back at each other as if they were really there. It was hilarious. But they're all very excited for season 3. Jay Lee said that Seth MacFarlane showed him a couple sneak previews for season 3, and said he's just blown away. He can't believe how good it looks. It's beautiful, it's big, it's exciting, because they do have a lot of stuff done for the season. Episode wise, they've shot half of the season, so 5.5 episodes, because season 3 is going to be 11 hour long, sometimes longer than an hour long episodes. So when you do the math on that, it's about the same amount of footage that season 2 had. Season 2 had 14 episodes. This will be 11 episodes that are about the same runtime as 14 episodes. But of course, these episodes are all huge. They're all at the level of Identity Part 2 from last season, but actually they go above that. They said that Identity Part 2 would be considered a small episode if it were located in season 3. I know Michael Dorn can fly. I already knew that, though. Michael Dorn, he could fly jets, and he has flown jets. He started taking lessons back about a year after The Next Generation started filming, was on air, and started taking flying lessons. Now that dude flies jets. I hope when he gets in a jet and takes off, he always goes, "Kapla!" JP, do you think Seth should consider finishing filming in places that COVID numbers are on the decline, like New York or Canada? Oh no, that would take even longer than just waiting, because they have to set up a whole new set. They got giant sets over on the Fox lot that they film everything on, and it would take longer if they moved the whole production. But also, Seth wouldn't do that. People's lives are more important to him than anything else. He wouldn't want to put any of the actors or crew in danger at all, and that would be the case. But yeah, productions. Also, I don't think it's legal to film anything in any of those places, so he'd have to break the law wherever he went. But no, it would take longer. It would take a year. It would take a year to build new sets. So just being patient, like as Orvillians, we're very used to being patient. Very, very used to being patient. We'll get it. We'll get this. We'll get the season out sooner than later. We just got to be patient.
Hulkamania forever, brother.
Michael Dorn can fly. That Klingon can touch the sky. Archmage, yeah, you were there. I saw you there. Archmage was attending the panel as well. Don't buy a shout out from Peter, or it will come out without sound. Peter Macon, during the Q&A, he kept accidentally pressing something, and he kept muting himself at least 3 or 4 times. He muted himself, and everyone was making fun of him. Oh yeah, Gray 300K is very excited for season 3. I took a bunch of notes. Hey Norman, how you doing? Yeah, are we though? Are we? We've had no choice. We've had no choice but to be patient, right? But every time we've been patient, good things have come to us. Wish Nerd HQ would start up their doing their conventions for a cause again. Those were great, and with last season, so many great shows, it would be awesome. Yeah, e-conventions are easier. It's easier to get people now more than ever, because all these actors and people are stuck at home. They want something to do as well. Yeah, just imagine him asking for takeoff in Klingon, and the control tower replies with Kapla and granted. Yeah, accidental mutes are tight. JP, I would love to see an episode where Gordon or Lamar teach Bortus foul language, and Bortus through the episode uses it inappropriately. That would also work with Isaac as well. Yeah, but I love it when the human members of the crew either teach Bortus something or Isaac something, or any of the aliens something. They don't do that enough, I think. Because the aliens should also kind of not quite understand all the little, the little things that, humans are about. So yeah, teaching them foul language, that would totally work with Isaac, but also Isaac might just become a huge foul-mouthed robot. Remember when Gordon taught him how to play a prank? He goes a little too far. But some of the stuff that they were talking about in the Q&A is stuff that I've already talked about that I knew already, and then there's a bunch of new stuff. But one of the first things they talked about is Seth, and this I've talked about before. Seth didn't want the Orville at all to be a comedy at all. He wanted it to be a serious sci-fi show, and Fox wasn't going to greenlight it unless it was a comedy from him. So he says fine. So he started it off with comedy, but he stayed true to what he wanted. He's like, damn it, one of these days I'm going to get this show to be the show that I want it to be. And that started happening pretty quickly. About the middle of season 1, it started getting more serious, more hardcore stories. The stakes were risen. The characters were going through some, hardships, especially with Claire being trapped on that planet, separated from her children, and she had to fight and claw her way back to her children. Lots of storylines like that. That's what he wanted to do, and they wouldn't let him do it. But he said, "Damn it, I'm just gonna stay. I'm gonna stay the course, and I'll get this show to be the show that I want it to be." And now it's especially the move to Hulu. It's the show that he wants it to be. No, I don't believe the Q&A is available for demand. Well, GalaxyCon, I'm sure will probably put it out on YouTube or something. They'd be silly not to. It was free. Anyone could register to attend. There was over 700 people there in the chat room watching the interview. About 730 at the peak, I think it was. And it was free, so I'm assuming that they'll probably have it available on their website or on YouTube. That'd be silly for them not to. They get all this footage, all these interviews they're doing this weekend that people are going to want to watch. But if it is available, I'll find it and I'll get it to you guys. I'll let you guys know. I'll give you the link and everything like that. But yeah, it's definitely not available right now because they just finished it 15 minutes ago. They just finished up. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a few words in season 3. Not a lot. They've already talked about this. They might use a few, I can't remember which interview, but it came out like a few weeks ago or a month ago. They might use a few words every once in a while that they wouldn't have been allowed to use on regular television, on old school television. But the feel, the hope, the focus of the show is exactly what it's always been. Yeah, saves time looking. Yeah, but also you might forget to look. So, I'll try to find it and I'll put a big old post. Oh, here's the link to watch the Q&A. I would think they would have it available. It'd be silly for them not to. Yeah, well, now I love the comedy of the show now because it's more organic. But yeah, Seth just wanted the comedy to come from just the situations. Which they've moved into that. Even something ridiculous like Bortus's Geloja was actually a serious thing. It was hilarious to us, but it's not funny to Bortus at all. It's something that, is part of his people. What's up, Austin? No, they filmed 5.5 episodes so far, but then they got shut down because of a worldwide pandemic. So it's kind of understandable that they got shut down. But no, we don't know when they're going to start airing the new season, nor do they. They had a trajectory. I mean, they had plans for season 3. They never announced them, but they had kind of a roundabout window of, September, October of this year. But then everything got shut down. So now they're like 3 months behind on filming. Editing has been nonstop. They've been editing those 5.5 episodes and doing effects and all that stuff for those 5.5 episodes. But yeah, they would have been done filming by now because filming was supposed to end last month in June, and now here we are in July. Months. So yeah, they're way behind now because of the stupid pandemic. The pandemic didn't even consider our feelings as Orville fans, you guys. Thanks for coming by, Austin. I wouldn't stream unless you guys were gonna come by and hang out with me. streaming and hanging out with you guys is the most important thing to me. Otherwise, I'm just here in my dumb apartment by myself. Yeah, I blame Avis for the pandemic. The pandemic is Avis's wrath. By the way, if you want to watch the Orville for free and already pay for a VPN, NordVPN, OrvVPN, you can watch it on SBS in Australia for free. Heck yeah, absolutely you can. I just need new sci-fi shows now. The 100 is ending and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. also ending, and other new shows are not getting good ratings, so I need more sci-fi shows to watch. Well, if you haven't tried out any of those shows that aren't getting good ratings, still try them out, because ratings mean nothing. They mean nothing to how you might like or dislike a show. Ratings are just wastes of time. They are, because everybody's different. Everybody sees something different in everything. So, you know, you might watch a show that has great... How many times have you watched a show that has great ratings and you just thought it sucked? The Wrath of Avis. Ooh, Hiroshi. I have a good idea from fans page that I started up yesterday on the Twitch stream. That's a good one. The Wrath of Avis. One of you came up with, you know how they have Captain Picard Day? We should have Captain Mercer Day. And another one of you came up with an idea to do Orville 1990 TV trailers. Like, you know, the whole In a World, next week, or next time on The Orville. Yeah, I just rewatched Star Trek Enterprise from beginning to end. Absolutely amazing. I'm currently, my favorite show right now that I'm all caught up with is Doom Patrol. I love Stargirl. I don't consider those shows sci-fi, but they are sci-fi adjacent. Superhero stuff. Jericho. Boom. Anobius came up with the Captain Mercer Day. Mercer Month. We should do a whole month. Every character gets their own month. T'Pol's not out of your league. Rewatched 5 shows recently in Chuck. So sort of just run through Stargate and Chuck and such. Yeah, there's lots of stuff out there on Netflix and Amazon. You guys have been telling me to get into Dark Matter on Netflix, so I'm going to check that out. JP, I hope that they give Ensign Turco and Lieutenant Dan a bigger role this season. Yeah, I do know that they're both on the show. I've seen posts before they got shut down for the pandemic. Pandemic is what I call it. Yeah, I know they're both on the show. Jay Lee mentioned in the interview that even though he's worked on a ton of stuff, he does lots of voiceovers for, you know, Family Guy, American Dad, Cleveland Show, stuff like that, and writing. He says the Orville is actually his first on-screen television credit, and that his audition scene, or one of the things they had him do during his audition, was the statue humping scene. So they wanted to see him hump a statue for the episode Majority Rule. So he's like, okay. So he humped the statue. But he says it was nerve-wracking to audition. And Scott Grimes said this as well, because the roles were written with them in mind. So the roles were kind of made to fit their real-life personalities a little bit, because they both are friends with Seth. And but they said it was nerve-wracking because it's like, this was written for you. And if you mess up during your read, during your audition, during your chemistry test, on-screen chemistry test, the role is yours to lose. Like, you kind of already have it, but you could still lose it if you don't do well. So they said it was pretty nerve-wracking. Yeah, I hear good things. Dark Matter, I read the synopsis on Dark Matter just the other day. I'm like, ooh, that does sound like something I would like. Media disc, you guys remember that? Yes, yeah. Curtis says, I watched the first episode of Doom Patrol last night. Is it a show that makes more sense the longer you watch? Absolutely, but the situations get crazier and crazier. You're getting a lot of, you're clicking on a lot of buttons with that show. You get a little bit of superhero stuff. You get some fourth wall stuff with Alan Tudyk, who is amazing. He makes the whole show, in my opinion, that first season, or the vibe. He makes the vibe of the show. Doctor Who stuff. It's got a Doctor Who vibe to it, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer / Angel vibe going on with it. It's got sciencey stuff, supernatural stuff. It really hits everything. You know, you got the cosmic side, the mystical side, the sciencey side, and just crazy Twilight Zone situations as well. No, I still haven't watched the new trailer for The Boys. Every time it pops up, I'm like, oh, no, I'm not ready to watch this yet. So I need something new, and of course, Expanse just before the new season got launched. The Expanse Season 4. That's right. Oh my God, I totally forgot. Well, I didn't forget. I just didn't have it on my mind. Tomorrow, you guys, on Egotastic FunTime Twitch channel, link down below, we're going to be doing an all-day watch party of The Boys. We're going to watch all of Season 1 of The Boys tomorrow. If you have Amazon Prime, connect your Amazon Prime to your Twitch. Just takes the click of a couple buttons. And when you show up to my channel tomorrow, The Boys will just be right there on my Twitch page, just playing. And we're going to watch it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk through the whole thing. Because it's all about the chatting, right? Yeah, I don't know why they never restarted Firefly. I mean, Joss Whedon, of course, did Serenity as like the end of Firefly, the movie. Which actually was a great movie, because if you watch the show, you got a lot out of that movie. But if you never even heard of the show, which was very common at the time, you still understood the movie. Yeah, you got to get those media discs. Dark, yeah, I saw the thumbnail for Dark. I'm like, what is that? Yeah, Serenity was awesome, but depressing. Oh, one thing that Peter Macon said. Let's see, I got notes everywhere. When it comes to sci-fi, because they asked everybody in the Q&A if they were a fan of sci-fi when they got onto the show, and of course, most of them kind of were. Peter said that he plays Bortus, Peter Macon. He says he loves Space 1999 and Buck Rogers, Doctor Who, even though he says, I didn't understand Doctor Who, but I watched it all the time. But he didn't like the original series, Star Trek the original series, because his dad loved Star Trek the original series, and every time it came on, you had to shut up when Star Trek the original series was on. In his household, that's his dad's favorite show, and when he was watching that, you couldn't make a noise, you couldn't talk. He's like, damn it, I want to say... I don't want to be all quiet. So he actually didn't like the original series just because his dad, put the clamp down. Space giants. Hey, Smoke, what's going on? Eric, the Smoke Moran is here, you guys. Smoke is the one that's... he's the creator of A Planetary Step, the new upcoming Orville fan series. But you can go on his channel now and watch his first episode. You might see someone you recognize in it. No, I don't really watch old manga. I mean, I used to watch... of course, I watched Ghost in the Shell way back in the day. Akira. Hey, thanks, Alan. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for your kind words. I don't consider original Trek canon, just the films. Yeah, I only consider the TV series from Enterprise and before to be original universe canon, or canon universe Star Trek. I don't even... the films, I feel, are almost like their own universe. Buckaroo Banzai. Aren't they going to do a remake of that eventually? I think we had a conversation on Twitch about... I kind of feel like somebody said Dark was dubbed. Time Bandits. I'm trolling. Yeah, they're remaking everything. That's a conversation we have. We talk about a lot. They remake everything. Why do they remake everything? Name recognition. They would stop doing that. They would stop doing remakes if we stopped paying tickets to go see that stuff. If we showed that we weren't interested in reboots and remakes and continuations of franchises a million years later, they'd stop doing it and they'd do some new stuff. It's cyclical. We're all causing the problem. Nice. There are still autographed pictures of Scott Grimes, Jay Lee, and others on the GalaxyCon website. Oh man, yeah, Scott Grimes. I'd love to have a Scott Grimes autograph. No, there wasn't a lot of upcoming Orville news. Just, you know, their personal experiences. They didn't even really talk much about season 3 until the very end, when they're all saying goodbye. They're like, "Oh, season 3 is gonna be so great. We can't wait for you guys to see it." And they can't wait. They can't wait to get back to work. They obviously were very excited to see each other because they've all been locked away and quarantining themselves. We found out in the interview that, you know, Jay Lee goes, you know, he says "boom" all the time.
That's what I'm talking about right there on that boom.
Boom actually came from his dad. They didn't write Boom for John Lamar's character. That's just a thing that Jay Lee always says because his dad always says that. So they wrote that into the script because Jay Lee would always say that all the time. Yeah, we need an episode where Lieutenant Dan has to save the ship. Hi, I'm Dan. JP, thoughts on a new He-Man cartoon? I haven't seen anything about it. What's crazy about He-Man was a cartoon built to sell toys. Like, literally, they made the toys, and then like, oh, let's make the cartoon for the toys. And they just ended up making an amazing cartoon. No thoughts on it, but I do want to check it out. I'm going to ask this question, Adam of Grayskull, because I know it's going to be on one of these. What streaming service do I have to be subscribed to in order to watch the new He-Man cartoon? Because there's nothing that anybody ever talks about coming out that's not on a streaming service. TV shows are dead. Sci-fi is as sci-fi does. Ooh, Kevin Smith is making it? Oh yeah, I had He-Man. Peter Macon, during the Q&A, who was talking about Thundercats and one other cartoon that he was into. Can't remember what it was, though. I don't think I wrote it down, but yeah, he loved Thundercats. Yeah, Mark Zekri early in his career wrote a lot of our favorite cartoons. I believe he even wrote for The Real Ghostbusters. JP, any chance we can get an animated episode of the Orville? I hope so. I don't know if that's on their radar yet. They have the comic books. They have the Orville comic books. We have a new batch of Orville comic books coming out September 2nd. The first issue of the new season of comic books comes out for the Orville. The art is great. It's drawn by David Cabeza, written by David A. Goodman, of course, one of the main writers on the Orville, as well as executive producer on the Orville. I don't know. I hope so. A lot of people want it. A lot of you guys always bring that up. An animated series would be amazing for the show. And so many of the actors on the Orville do voice work for cartoons, right? Netflix. Doing some animated shows would be a great way to, for the Orville, be a great way to satiate us a little bit as we wait so long between these seasons. Yeah. Well, I don't think an Orville cartoon probably wouldn't be like Family Guy. It would probably be more like, I mean, I'm sure it'll have a lot of humor in it, but I'm sure it'll also still be pretty dramatic. Yeah, we got to get that Sliders reboot going. Sliders, I think, is a perfect... Actually, it doesn't even need to be a reboot of Sliders. Just do a new show with a new story that just has people traveling to different, different what-if time periods. Alternate timelines. But also just make it good. It would have to be on a streaming service to succeed. Those types of shows, big budget shows like that, especially sci-fi, will never succeed for long on traditional television. Now they keep talking about Tron 3, Jesper. I don't know how far along they are with that, or even if it's official yet. I think a Tron TV series, well, I can't even say TV anymore, streaming series, a Tron series, I think would be a worthy venture for some studio to put in place and do. Hey, RC, thanks you for keeping the channel alive.
Let's go!
Keeping these lights on here. Thank you so much. It's very much appreciated. Hey, JP, thanks for being such a positive entity in the YouTube verse. Ooh, I like that term, YouTube verse. And you just say, I just coined that term, YouTube verse. Well, I responded to it. That's a good term. You should get it patented. You should get it copywritten. Yeah, Sliders was good for about 3 seasons. I think I watched it for about 3 seasons, and then when they started just recasting everything, I was like, oh, okay. Never give up, never surrender. Ooh, yeah, an animated series would also work with Tron. Well, yeah, with sci-fi, live action is incredibly expensive. Even the cheapest show that's out there that you see that's new is still very expensive to make. TV program exclusive. Another thing that they said, that Scott especially was talking about during the Q&A, is that, you know, in the episode Firestorm, you know, the one where it's all a big holodeck story for Alara, that, you know, they had that conference room scene where all of a sudden there's a tarantula on the table walking towards Captain Mercer, and Seth wrote it. He created that. He wrote that episode. He writes most of the episodes, at least half. And Scott says, you know, it was cool. He loved seeing the tarantula, and he thinks spiders and stuff are cool. You know, there's that scene where the tarantula falls on his face, but they had to do that digitally. He wanted to do it for real, but the tarantula trainer wouldn't allow it. And but anyway, when the tarantula was on the table and it's walking towards Seth MacFarlane, who wrote the scene, Seth would freak out every single time. It was like as soon as the tarantula started walking near him, he would just get up and go stand against the wall. He was so freaked out by the tarantula. And Scott's like, but you wrote this. You knew this was going to happen. He's like, I know. I just got to get over it. Yeah, new but good Stargate. Yeah, everybody wants more Stargate. We just watched Stargate. We did a Stargate watch party last week, was it? On the Twitch channel. I try to do at least some kind of watch party every single week. Yesterday we watched a double feature. We watched the TNG episode from Season 7. Season 7, Episode 12, Pegasus. You know, where Riker's old captain comes aboard, John Locke, and says, oh, we got to go get the ship. And it turns out to have a secret cloaking device that's illegal. And Riker's sworn to secrecy. Well, that episode crosses over to the Enterprise series finale. Directly crosses over. So we watched both of those together so we could get the full story. Tarantulas are sweet. Depends on the type of dipping sauce you use. But just kidding, guys. I don't eat spiders. Yeah, they're supposedly talking about a new Tron 3, but they're having a hard time doing. They don't want to do it unless Daft Punk signs on to do the music. And I'm like, just get somebody on board to do the music that sounds like the Daft Punk music from the last movie. Having that, line in the sand about Daft Punk doing the soundtrack, or we can't do the movie at all. I'm like, oh, that tells you that what's more important for them when making the movie. Not the story or anything. They want to make that music experience. So the movie will be a music video, whereas opposed to the story. Just get somebody else that sounds like Daft Punk. It's easy. Just do it. There's amazing people that make that type of music out there. But also, Daft Punk will sign up. Why wouldn't they? They should have... Yeah, we want that. We want, Steven, we want Scott Bakula on the Orville, and he leaps in as Sam Beckett into one of the Orville characters. Oh, that'd be hilarious. We just like... John's walking down the corridor, and then he looks in the mirror, but we see Scott Bakula in the mirror. Or we see Scott Bakula, and we're all like, what? Scott Bakula's on the Orville? And then he looks in the mirror, and it's John Lamar. Ludicrous Speed, FYI, you guys. Speaking of Ludicrous Speed, at least in the United States, Spaceballs just became available on Netflix. PMT Rec House merch money. What's going on, Joy Dawn? Zero Joy Dawn. I know. Well, the Spaceballs movie, I don't want it unless Mel Brooks is highly involved with it. But man, Mel Brooks, exactly the same dude in his brain. But, you know, he might get tired. That's a lot of work. Maybe his son. Mel Brooks' son could probably put together a good Spaceballs movie. You guys remember the Tron video game back in the 80s? You had to get inside of it. Rec House says if they did a Spaceballs sequel, they could bring Ludacris the rapper to rap at ludicrous speed. Oh my God. Send that in to Mel Brooks. Well, he probably wouldn't get the reference. But yeah, ludicrous speed. And it's actually talking about Ludacris. That's an exact type of joke they would do in a Spaceballs movie. Tron is great. The first film, which came out like 1980, 1981, still holds up because of the style. I mean, some of the references are weird in this day and age, but the movie still looks great. Yeah, The Princess Bride shall never be remade. Just re-release it in the theaters. I think people would be happy. Oh yeah, I used to go. If I had quarters, I'd be playing. When I'd go to the arcade, I'd spend at least 1 or 2 quarters on Tron. Flynn is your spirit android. What if they did a crossover of The Matrix and Tron? What? What? Yeah, I was thinking it was you, Gray. Gray 300K was the one that said Dark was dubbed. And it is. It's inconceivable to do a remake of that movie! Yeah, I have to rewatch Spaceballs again as well. Scott Bakula as Sam Beckett. Could you imagine? Probably hard to do a short season. But they had to... But if they had to fill a 22 episode season, then yeah. Yeah, they don't if they brought back Quantum Leap, it would be on a streaming service and it'd probably be about 10 episodes. That's just the way it is, and it's the way it's always going to be going forward. It's the way it's always going to be. So we have all these big time expensive shows that only give you 10 episodes, around 10 episodes, but there's 80,000 more shows to consume. So it's kind of good that a lot of these shows are only 10 episodes because we have too many things to watch and only a certain amount of time in our day to do it. Dan Crane, keeping the lights on.
Oh my God. Oh God. My God. It's so good. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. That is so good.
I need more Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anything on the radar for Arnold coming to the big screen? I have no idea. I just hope if he comes to the big screen that it's not another damn Terminator movie. Even though I've enjoyed all the Terminator movies, good and bad, because I'm a Terminator dude. I would love to see Arnold go up against Predator again. I'd love it. Or just do something new with Arnold that doesn't suck. We don't need any end of days. Come on, you are choir boy compared to me. Running Man 2. Oh, God, Running Man. Love that movie so much. Oh, I think Running Man is going to be one of the movies that we do a watch party for on the Twitch channel. I think that movie's available. Come on, the Running Man. You can't handle me, Richard Dawson. Hey, Hiroshi loves you. Thank you so much.
I am awaiting my dinner. This has caused me to become displeased.
Oh, I actually liked Killing Gunther. Oh, I watched half of the trailer for that. I stopped watching the trailer because I was like, okay, I want to watch that. Catch you on the bounce, trooper. I'm Darkfire. Thanks, Joy. I always bring out Arnold during the, at least once during every live stream. Somebody brings it up. Get your ass to Mars. Yeah, it did. Stephen Klein says, the Total Recall movie remake sucked. Yeah, I didn't care for it at all. I mean, if it doesn't suck, it's just a movie at movie quality, a regular movie quality movie. But man, was that not needed. If you're going to do a remake, do it as good or better. And some things you just can't redo because it's lightning in a bottle. Come on, Total Recall without Arnold Schwarzenegger being a weirdo? Come on, what's the point in that? Quaid. Yeah, 95% remakes. Now there are some movies you could totally do remakes of, or TV shows or whatever, but there's other ones where it's like, no, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Did Pacific Rim 3, was it made? Did they do it? I know they did part 2. I didn't see part 2, but it looked good. Remember your training and you will come back alive. Jamie! I got you, Turbo Man! They can never do a remake of The Matrix. No, they're doing a sequel. With Keanu Reeves. They're doing a sequel. It's supposed to come out... Well, I don't know when it's coming out now because of the pandemic. But I do know that it was slated to come out... Matrix 4 is supposed to come out like the same day as what the hell's that show? That other Keanu Reeves movie. Commando. John Wick. Oh, the Sicilian is Grand Negasek. Yeah, everyone's coming through with the John Wick. I got there first, though. Yeah, I watched Jingle All the Way is the movie I watch every Christmas. You got Phil Hart, you got Sinbad, you got Arnie. I agree, Jesper. Jesper says only good remake I have seen recently was Dread with Carl Urban. I would say I like that better than the original. Yeah, well, the remake of Dread was the serious version. Whereas the Stallone version is the fun 80s action film. Or did it come out in 91? Can't remember. Die Hard each Christmas for me. Oh, hell yeah, Die Hard. It's a Christmas movie. Someone during the Orville Q&A asked, how many takes does it take? How many takes does it take? How many takes does it usually take? There's the word again, to get a scene filmed. And they said, oh, it takes tons. They do it over and over and over again because Seth just has this he just has this feeling if someone's line was said not as good as it could be said, or you know, the way that he just got this timing in his brain, and once he hears the timing, he's like, okay, that's good, and he goes with it. But he says, Scott especially said that Seth has this cadence that he wants, or he has this idea of how a scene should be read or how it should feel or go, and if you hit that, you're fine. Or if you go above it, you're fine. But if you just come a little bit short as to what he wants to feel when he hears a line or a scene, he'll just say, okay, he'll just keep tweaking you until you get it. But he says they always want to have at least 3 good takes in the can. So it's not about getting a good take. It's about getting 3 good takes, so that they have options when they're editing stuff together. Hey, Kevin Scott.
I can promise you that if anyone comes at you or tries to take you down, I'm gonna mess them up first.
I'm gonna mess them up. I got your back, Kevin. Thanks, JP, for cheering us up in this horrible dimmick. Horrible dimmick. What's next? An alien invasion? Well, I heard the alien invasion was supposed to happen this month, so we still got a lot of the month left. So, yeah, we'll hopefully get that alien invasion soon. Because, man, that'll really break up the monotony, I think. I'm looking forward to an alien invasion. Good aliens or bad aliens, it don't matter. Just entertain me! Are you not entertained? Yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide remake didn't do it for you. I enjoyed it, but I hardly remember much about it. But there's only so much you could do in a little 2-hour, or that was probably an 1.5-hour movie, right? Hey, what's up, Piano Dean? Na 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 na. Egotastic fun time. Oh no, it's na na na. Egotastic fun time. Hey hey hey. Mix fists with your toes. Man, I love Carl Urban. Carl Urban has been in great movies. He's been in horrible movies. He's been in okay movies. But every movie he's been in, that movie is better because he's in it. Tomorrow we're going to be watching Carl Urban all day on the Egotastic Twitch channel because we're going to be doing an all-day Boys stream. We're going to watch all of Season 1 of The Boys. If you have Amazon Prime, just connect it to your Twitch account. The Boys is widely, worldwide available if you have Amazon Prime. So wherever you are in the world, if you connect it and you come to my Twitch channel tomorrow, Boys will just be playing right there on the screen. You don't have to do anything extra. I know we're never, even if energy, because this world we've created, you guys, even if like we have something like in the Orville or Star Trek where energy is free and abundant, they'd still charge us for it. Yeah, well, the book is always better. And a show, a lot of times, is better as well, because you really get into the backstories, you get into the minute details. A movie is just an advertisement for a story. It's very rarely an actual story. Yeah, he's one of the highest paid actors for a reason. Almost Human loved that show as well. And The Boys, yeah, I am looking forward to season 2, but I am also avoiding the trailer for as long as possible. Yeah, I'd love to avoid the trailer, but I just can't because I have to talk about it. No, I haven't seen Norseman. I haven't heard of that, Bob. Ooh, I love Monty Python, though. I should check it out. JP, do you think we will see Tala's family this season, and how, as a military family, they are discriminated against on their own planet? Well, I do know for a fact in season 3, we're going to be diving deeper into all the characters' backstories. So, you know, everybody's backstory. We're going to learn more about where everybody comes from, what, their hopes, their dreams, how they got to where they are today, or 400 years from now. And so yes, that's the first time that it was in the episode Deflectors, I think it was. Tala was talking about her family. Her family on Celea are scapegoats because they're they have a history of military service, which is usually kind of looked down upon. Not so much that people stop you from doing it, though, apparently. And kind of like, being a YouTuber. People are like, you're a what? YouTuber? Ugh. And so, yeah, since she said that, I've been hoping to meet her family. We've met Alara's family, and, Robert Picardo and Molly Hagan, which was great. Especially the turn that we got with Ildis Catan and his daughter. But yeah, I want to see Tala's family. I even said Patricia Tallman would be a great pick to play like Tala's mom or aunt or something like that. She's a badass, of course. I would love to see it. I want to see her family because I want to go back to Celea. We could go back to Celea through Tala. Let's do it. That Celea episode, Home, Season 2, Episode 3. I was like, oh my god, we actually get to see what the gravity does and all this stuff. So yeah, let's go back. Hiroshi loves you.
Boom, bitch!
Oh, you deserve better than that.
Where's Golden's
Where's Golden's Lake? Thank you, Hiroshi. Have you seen a movie Blind? Not seeing any trailers or much advertisement. No. I saw Bird Box. A free energy device as such is not possible since it would violate the second law of thermodynamics. I don't know. Is it a closed system thermodynamics or is it an open system thermodynamics? A lot of people forget you got to add the closed environment. But why would you? You'd have a huge ball of energy hanging above us. Yeah, it'd have to be some... What if we got energy that was practically free? Where it takes like hardly anything to run it, right? They'd still find a way to charge a premium for it. Because as humans, we're horrible. Yes, I'm looking forward to the movie Tenet. Still don't understand what the hell it is, but I've seen the trailer a million times. Once movie theaters open back up, and as long as I can go safely, which I think I can, when Tenet comes out, I'll go see it and I'll do an Insta review of it right here on the channel. JP, who would you like to see play Lamar's parents? Oh man, I've never been asked that question. I've never even considered it. We're always talking about Ed and Kelly's parents, right? Which we know Ed's parents because we met them, or holographic versions of them, in episode 2, Command Performance. Oh man, I want to hear your guys' suggestions on this. John Lamar's parents, because I also like to be some actors that kind of have John's same vibe. I would have said, Penny Johnson-Gerald from DS9 would be a great choice, but you can't do that. She's already on the show. I have no idea. What about... LeVar Burton to be his dad. Let's get LeVar Burton on there. That's a great cameo because John Lamar, his character is a tribute to LeVar Burton from TNG. That's why, LeVar got promoted to engineering. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. LeVar Burton should totally play John's dad. Mom, I don't know. What do you guys think? And yeah, a lot of you guys, before I even said that, I've already put in there LeVar Burton. Everyone's saying LeVar Burton. Ooh, Whoopi Goldberg. Double the TNG fun. Oh my God. Whoopi Goldberg, who actually has a similar calming tone to her voice when she wants to. Like when she played Guinan. Very calm, very soothing type voice. Jay Lee kind of has that calm voice as well. Yes. LeVar Burton and Whoopi Goldberg. Let's start putting that up online, you guys. Let's start getting the gears working on that. I don't know if we're going to meet John's parents in Season 3, so maybe we can get it going for Season 4. Maybe they already cast those actors to do that. Q Reality, what? $10 drive-in movies should make a comeback. They are.
The tingles. I feel as if I have been standing my entire life and I just sat down.
Drive-in movies are making a comeback right now. A lot of pop-up drive-ins are popping up. Now here in Tulsa, where I'm at, we have the Admiral Twin, which is a famous drive-in theater in the region from like way back in the day. There are, I think they just played The Empire Strikes Back. But all the drive-ins right now are pretty much playing just old movies. But yeah, Walmart, a story came out just the other day. Walmart is converting 187 of their parking lots to drive-in theaters. But also, I'm not going to a drive-in theater. It's way too hot outside. Way too hot outside. But I love the idea for people. You know, some people, they love going outside into the stinking armpit of a planet that we live in during this time of year in this part of the country. They love it. Get their PBR, their fold-out chairs, make some sandwiches, and go see a movie at the drive-in. So I think that's great. Wow, high of 105 in Dallas. Hey, Tricity. Hey, JP, it's Tricity on the other account again. Yeah, Tricity shows up over, many of you show up over on the Twitch, Egotastic Twitch streams every week. We do a few every week. Every Thursday is the Talking the Orville live show Splosion. It's a 3-hour show. Most Fridays we do a watch party, and then there's a couple Saturdays a month. Or Sundays, because tomorrow we're doing the Boys season 1. We do an all-day watch party. We just talk about whatever we want to talk about. Tee. Dallas Fort Worth. Good old Dallas. I think you're only a 4-hour drive from me, Joy. When we look up at the moon at night, we're looking at the same moon. Nick Danger 420.
Smoke weed every day.
That's for you, Nick Danger 420. We's gonna die. We's going home. Star Trek just started in Ireland. What, the new Star Trek, I assume, because I know that Ireland's been flush with Star Trek for many a decade. Let's see, what else do we got here? Oh, one thing I didn't realize, Peter Macon said this, that Bortus, at least in the pilot, if you look at Bortus's makeup, he has a huge nose. They give Bortus a huge nose, and now if you look, Bortus actually has a small nose. But if you compare him, it's very different. He said, and he says they've made a few other changes over the episodes, like with the ridges and stuff like that. But when he auditioned for the role of Bortus, he had no idea what Bortus was going to look like. They didn't really know what Bortus was going to look like. The character was, the look, the visuals of Bortus wasn't really created yet. They just told him, I think Seth told him, or the people on set told him, or during the audition told him that, yeah, Bortus is an alien. He's kind of going to be like a lava rock monster. Kind of like the Thing from Fantastic Four. He's going to be like lava, made of like lava rocks. Which didn't end up to be the case, right? Thank goodness. I don't think I would have liked Bortus if he kind of looked like an evil demon lava rock monster. Jar Jar can't open a jar. But Jar Jar can put forth a motion of no confidence in the Senate because children love sci-fi stories about Senate meetings. Hey, Huckbone. Oh, yeah, Huckbone. Thanks for doing the Orville trading card reviews, by the way. Those were cool, building a nice set myself. You're going to have more to build, Huckbone. They're Season 2 cards. I don't think there's a release date yet, but Season 2 cards for the Orville are going to be coming out from Rittenhouse. They're putting together the sets for Season 2. Oh my God, I remember not having AC when I lived on you know, I'm from Southern California. I'm from like a few minutes north of Los Angeles. Of course, I lived in LA and Hollywood the last few years I lived there. But yeah, I remember warm days, hot days, and no one had air conditioning. That was for rich people. We didn't have air conditioning. But usually when it's really hot days, you know, you just got to get through it just a couple days. Then eventually it'll be nice again. Hell yeah, we'll be getting season 2 cards when they come out and doing a few. Well, I'll probably just do a big stream. A live stream where we're just opening cards and seeing what we got. Yeah, thanks for destroying the galaxy, Jar Jar. Ahmed Best. And ending countless lives in the following wars. Yeah, Jar Jar got all the Jedi murdered. But if it wasn't Jar Jar, it would have been somebody else. Oh, yes. I highly... Okay. There might be a link down there. I might still have a link down there. I don't know. Possibly. The Orville book. The Universe book. Which is... Okay, right there. The World of the Orville. Which is a great book. It's a very in-depth book about season 1 of the Orville. It's made by the Orville. Jeff Bond, I think, wrote it. Anyway, tons of pictures, behind-the-scenes stuff. A detailed list of all the aliens, where they come from, all the different ship classes, weapon classes, production, behind-the-scenes concept art, everything. Every character, every place we've been, planet we've been. It's all there in that book, which you can get on Amazon, and I think there's a link down there. I should have a whole bunch of Orville links down there for, you know, seasons and comic books and official merch. Mine's signed, though. That one's a little bit harder to get. A little harder to get a signed one. That one's signed by Seth MacFarlane. Have you seen discuss the upcoming The Orville, the official ships collection magazine from Eagle Moss? No. Wait, Destroy Earth, how you doing? I know, I've seen pictures of the Eagle Moss ships that are coming out. They're going to be doing, the Orville, some Orville ships, the pods, the shuttle pods. But they also have an XL ship of the Orville, which I believe is 10-inch. I think it's a 10-inch ship. All made with high-quality materials and things like that. Up there, I have my 12-inch Orville ship model that was 3D printed. It's kind of blurry because it's fancy webcam stuff. Kind of blurry back there. But yeah, I have an Orville ship back there. But I want the Eagle Moss one because the Eagle Moss one's going to be like slick and crazy good. I mean, that one's great, but it's a 3D model. No, I don't think they're doing a season 2 book that's like the World of the Orville. I know that what they want for season 2. I was talking to Lex Kassar, who's the senior concept designer for the show. He says they're hoping to do their second book will be, hopefully, if they get it through, the art of the Orville. So the second book be a great tabletop coffee book. Like that would be the art. All the art that they've done for the show, which is a lot. 12 inches is more than enough. Yeah, I'm looking forward to giving the Orville all my money. No, hey, what's up? Not today, NSA. Not today, NSA. Did the new season start? No. Today, just an hour or so ago, they finished doing a live Q&A with 5 of the actors from the Orville. And this is on GalaxyCon. I think you go to GalaxyCon, probably .com, and you'll see it there. They did a live, free Q&A interview. It lasted a little less than an hour long, with Scott Grimes, Jay Lee, Peter Macon, Kelly Hu, and Mark Jackson from the Orville. But yeah, it's going to be a while before we get season 3 because of the pandemic. They have half of the season filmed, and they've been editing the whole time. I'm sure they have a trailer ready to go. I don't know when they're going to release the trailer, but from what I heard, it seems like they have a trailer ready to go for season 3, but man, we have to wait for the world to open back up before they can finish filming. They were supposed to be done with filming last month, but of course they've been done. All of Hollywood, over the everywhere hasn't been able to film anything for 3 months now. Nick Danger, hey JP, I hope you didn't play The Last of Us 2, but if you did, what did you think of it? I of course played it. It's absolutely an amazing game, amazing story. The story of Joel and Ellie, you really find out how much they meant to each other. I'm about 30 hours in. I'm sure I have a long way to go though, but yeah, it's an amazing game. Has there been any chat about making action figures like Mego figures, etc.? I do know that all the actors have had their likenesses approved for making figures, and they did do the HeroClix figures are available now. There might be a link down there for that. You can buy the HeroClix figures on Amazon, I believe, or wherever HeroClix are sold. They're cool, but I want some legit action figures. I haven't heard anything yet about legit action figures, but I think they are in the works, because when I talked to Tom Constantino, we chatted on the phone during Comic-Con, right before the Orville Comic-Con panel last year, before they made the announcement about the move to Hulu. We were talking, he's like, hey man, we're moving to Hulu. What do you think we should make the announcement at Comic-Con? We're going up in just a little bit. I go, yeah, man, do it. I think Seth was nervous about making the Hulu announcement, even though moving to Hulu is the best thing they ever could have done. And so they were wondering what certain. I was famously known as a big fan of the Orville, and a couple other channels were too. So they called all of us and asked us what we thought. I said, yeah, get it out the bag, man. Let's just get over it and move on. And he said there's a big merch push for the show. They have it's in the works, or the plans. They've already started doing it. They have a lot of merch that they want to start putting out for the show. So shirts, the toys like HeroClix, the models that are coming out from Eagle Moss, as well as Corbin FX. Corbin FX, I think they're available for pre-order now. Corbin FX, I sound like Christopher Walken now. Corbin FX has the Orville like blasters and pistols, as well as another ship model, super high quality ship model, very high quality. And these things are so awesome that the weapons that Eagle Moss is putting out there that are for sale for us, the Orville also ordered a ton of them because they're so good that the Orville is using those blasters and stuff that are made by Corbin FX for the actual season 3 filming. So all the weapons and stuff that we see in season 3 will be actually the same ones that we can purchase. Justice for Joel. That's the whole game. Last of Us 2, it's all about revenge. All about revenge. Which I'm all about. When the whole Joel thing happened towards the beginning of the game, I was like, yeah, Ellie, let's go. Let's take care of this situation. Make everybody pay. So I'm with her the whole time. I'm like, yeah, Ellie, we got this. Yeah, I'm the same way, PMT. Reckhouse says, I need some pop figures. Yes. I think, unless they came out with some awesome Todd McFarlane stuff, number one on my list is pop figures for the Orville. Reboot BSG is epic. There is a new Battlestar Galactica series being produced right now for NBC Peacock. It's not a reboot. It's not a remake. It takes place in the same universe as the BSG reboot from the 2000 whenever that came out, probably 20 years ago now. I can't remember. Not sure what story they're going to tell. If it's not a Dama trying to save everybody story, I don't know what story I'd be interested in, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Yeah, BSG, the reboot of BSG from years ago, still holds up today. Just have people rewatch that. Number 6. What's up? BSG needs a reboot every 200,000 years. All of this has happened before, JP, and it'll happen. JB, and it'll happen again. The effects team that did that BSG reboot is the same effects team that did all the Firefly stuff. That's why some of the space stuff is very similar to the Firefly stuff as far as like audio and stuff goes. Except for they decided, yeah, we'll put a little bit of space noise in BSG, but we'll make it very muted. Whereas in Firefly, there was no sound at all because there's no sound in space. Try to scream in space. No one can hear you. Yeah, don't fear the Reaper and don't rush reopening. That's what I'm about. We'll just be better off if we wait. Let's be safe. This gives us time to really dive into a lot of stuff that we missed over the years as far as content goes, because we're bombarded. In life, we're just bombarded. There's too much content. Too much content for any of us to absorb. So we're all into the same stuff, but someone said, hey, did you watch this show? No. I was watching this show. Did you watch that? Yeah, I watched that show. I love it. Cool. Oh, didn't you love the part? Oh, don't tell me. I'm only 2 seasons in. You know, there's just too much stuff for us. So we're not able to have these conversations that we used to have as nerds when we can keep up with all the content. So now we got some time to catch up on all this stuff. Ads are out of control. Do you mean on this channel? I hope there's no ads. There shouldn't be any ads. You would love it if they did it with Pegasus JP or some other human factor surviving out in space, not looking for Earth. Yeah, let's get some. Yeah, I want Pops. I want Orville Pops. And let's get that Pegasus. Let's just bring back Enterprise. Oh, you get an ad before each live stream. Yeah, I think that's always the case everywhere. I hope you don't get any ads in the middle of a live stream. That would suck. Live action remake of Voltron, Defender of the Universe. That stuff, as long as Michael Bay has nothing to do with it, I'll be all for it. Quick ones. Yeah, no one has money. Star Blazers. Let me see here. Got my front page of notes for the live live Q&A. So apparently when Mark Jackson auditioned for Isaac, he just did his audition in London. And he had no idea what Isaac was supposed to be like or look like. He just knew it was going to be an android, like a robot person. No idea. The casting director had no idea. So he did the audition. And he got the role. So he came out to America. And he had no idea what the character was going to look like. He met everybody for the first time. He met Seth and the other actors and all that stuff during the very first read-through of the pilot. That's when he met everybody. But also when he was doing all his, Isaac-y stuff, like during the reading, or during because he had to do another audition when he gets flown out to America, to Hollywood, and he said Seth wouldn't even look at him. What he would do is Seth would either close his eyes or look away, and then just listen, because they didn't really know what Isaac was going to look like yet. They're still figuring that out. He just knew it was going to be some sort of robot. So Seth just would close his eyes and listen to Mark and try to imagine this robot creature. He didn't want to see his face, his movements, or anything. So Seth just basically officially cast him just by his closing his eyes and listening to his voice, which is very interesting. Yeah, he has a great voice. Seth Trek is the best Trek. Yeah, I got my Seth Trek. Well, it's got a hair on it. But I got my Seth Trek right here. I just came out with this design on a fanny pack. I was like, I'm going to design a fanny pack. So I got the Seth Trek fanny pack that just came out yesterday. The Fallout series, I really hope they do it right. I love that universe, and I'm waiting for Wasteland 3 now. Yeah, the Fallout television series is being produced by Amazon. It's going to be an Amazon original, and it's being written by the writers from Westworld, which is good because I think they need to move on to another franchise. And I think they'll do. I think the Westworld writers will do a great job with the Fallout series. Oh, good. No streams, no ads in the middle of a live stream. That's good. Yeah, I was angry too, but I was angry. Nick 420. I was Nick Danger. I was angry in a like, you know, I'm part of the story type of way. Now we don't know if Jonathan Frakes is being is cast in season 3, but they still have half of the season to film, so they still have people to cast, roles to cast. There's Jay Lee told me that he's pretty sure that Seth has been writing new stuff for the Orville while in lockdown, and I said he's probably updated some of the scenes in season 3, and he's like, yeah, I think he probably has. You're probably right. And so yeah, they still have people to cast. And I know Jonathan Frakes says that he would be interested in being on the Orville, like as an alien or just some cool little role or something like that. But I do know that Jonathan Frakes is not directing at all in season 3. There's only 2 people directing in season 3 because they want to keep it so, they want the story to be so tight and a unified vision. The only people directing in season 3 is Seth MacFarlane and John Cassar. Do you know if Isaac's place in the crew is different in season 3? Is all forgiven? I know that much is forgiven because you have to remember there was a bunch of episodes with Isaac in his post after Identity Part 2. But I'm sure it's going to be a little bit sketchy with him and Claire. Claire wants to forgive him. I don't know if she fully has yet. And there was a couple of the characters. I think Bortus was like, no, we should let him die. You know, it's too dangerous. You know, when Yaphet was going to try to revive Isaac at the end of the episode. But I'm sure there's going to be some repercussions. People on Earth especially. Just like in Enterprise, which a lot of the stuff that happened in Enterprise, they do on the Orville. A lot of the writers and producers from Enterprise now work on the Orville. And Seth was a big fan of Enterprise. He was in a couple episodes. So I've seen a lot of little unique storylines in Enterprise that have kind of shown up or been referred to in the Orville. So there was an episode, the whole thing with the Xindi. They got back from the whole Xindi season 3 situation on Enterprise, and a lot of people on Earth became xenophobic against aliens because the aliens tried to almost destroy their planet and killed like 7 million people in Florida. But that's Florida. Sorry, Piano Dean, but that's Florida. And so I'm guessing there'll probably be a little bit of that xenophobia or, you know, bigotry aimed at Isaac because he's Kaylon. I mean, that would have to be the case. There'll probably be a little bit on the ship, but there'll probably be a lot of it outside of the ship, on Earth or other vessels in the Union, stuff like that. Hey, JP, I'm gonna head out. See you tomorrow with the watch party. It was fun hanging out to see you on Twitch. Well, I will see you on Twitch tomorrow, Tricity. The Boys, Season 1. We're going to watch the entire season from beginning to end tomorrow. So I'm going to be streaming for like 10 hours, you guys. Quentin should be a player? What, Quentin Marsalis? I haven't been paying attention. What's up, Grebjack? Is Seth still trying to obtain the rights to Star Trek? I don't believe so. Also, I don't believe that was actually... I think that ended up just being a troll that came up with that story. I think it was revealed that was just a troll trying to mess with Doomcock. But I'm fine with Seth not trying to obtain the rights to Star Trek because we got the Orville. What's your opinion on the new Trek series, Strange New Worlds? I'm all for it in theory. I mean, no matter what you think about Discovery, Pike was great. And at the end of season 2 of Discovery, we were kind of led to believe that Pike and Spock and Number 1 went off to do a Star Trek somewhere. And we were all like, take us with you. Take us to Star Trek with you. We want to go see a Star Trek. The idea of it seems great. Captain Pike, Strange New Worlds is the best damn title of any Star Trek series you can come up with. Strange New Worlds. That feels like the right vibe, right? I hope they don't keep messing with Spock. Let Spock be Spock. We don't need to have, oh, he's like Spock, but different. No. Just have Ethan play regular Spock. He can totally do it. The dude's talented. But we'll have to see. I'm hoping it doesn't have to be completely episodic, but a little bit more episodic vibe to the episodes. Like maybe they have a mission they got to do, but they keep getting sidetracked by these new civilizations and new worlds and stuff like that they keep running into along the way. That has nothing to do with whatever the serialized story might be, assuming that they even have a serialized story. I think it'd be a great way to maybe see if CBS can do that type of traditional Star Trek. I mean, they certainly got Pike in there. Pike can bring a lot, can be that bridge. But we'll have to wait and see. I have to wait and see until it comes out. Right now, I'm hopeful, because I'm always hopeful about everything until I have reason not to be. Because I want to live a happy life and not have hate be a platform. It's cool to hate. It's fine to hate stuff. I just don't ever want to make have hate be my platform, as opposed to just feeling human emotions, which is totally fine, and having opinions, totally fine. Being critical, never cynical. But we'll have to wait and see. I think it could be good. Just have no idea if it will be. I prefer that as well, Austin. I prefer Star Trek, and not even just Star Trek, every franchise. Keep moving forward. Damn you, George Lucas, you started this crap with the prequels. Whether you like prequels or not, the prequels are heading back, and that was always a ding against it. It's like, no, let's just move forward. We had this whole trilogy adventure. I want to see what the after effects of all of that was. I want all series to move forward. If he does, because Seth MacFarlane's jam, Steven, is sci-fi. That's his jam. That's what he loves as a fan. If he develops a sci-fi series for NBC, well, he can develop it for NBC streaming or the regular NBC channel, which I think would be a mistake. Sci-fi does not work on primetime television. It's very not for the big four. And CW could get away with some stuff, but the main big channels can't do it. Oh my God! Anonymous bought the fanny pack. Anonymous Q Reality bought the fanny pack. There you go, Seth Trek. I'm hoping that a bunch of makeup artists on the Orville buy the fanny pack and put their makeup brushes and stuff in it so they can use on set. Though they probably have better aprons they can wear that can do that. But yeah, let's move forward. Let's keep it going. Yeah, I think Seth could develop a new sci-fi series. He's going to develop a bunch of series for NBC. Probably, a whole variety of different things. But he's not going to be... He's kind of the idea. He's the producer guy. He's going to like, here's an idea that I think we should work on. Here, let's put together a team. Go make the thing that I tell you to make, and then show me some stuff so I can approve things. But his heart and soul is going to be on the Orville. The Orville is where he wants to be. That's his passion. I just posted on what's up, Paul Smith? I just posted on Twitter a day or two ago. It might have been yesterday. I called out Hulu. I said, "Hey, at Hulu, why don't you go? It's going to be a smash hit. So why don't you go ahead and announce the season 4 renewal right now for the Orville?" And then I put like a happy face or whatever so I could know that I'm not being mean. You gotta do that nowadays, you guys. You gotta put these emojis out there so people know where you're coming from, what your tone is. And I'm like, hashtag the Orville, hashtag renew the Orville. It's renew the Orville time. It's gonna be a while before we get season 3. Because we have to wait so long, give us that season 4 announcement right away. So, makes us happy, makes us feel good. Makes it so that we have something to hold on to so that we can wait just that much longer for season 3, because it's going to be a while. Stupid pandemic. Yeah. Now, I don't mind prequels in the Star Trek universe if it has nothing to do with anyone we've ever heard of before, or times that we've never seen before. I mean, get that Enterprise B, the Enterprise C, Enterprise Elemental P, which would be a future. Don't bring back characters with new actors and new storylines that we've already know everything about, or eras that we know everything about. We're like, oh, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't seem right. And if you do that, just say, actually, you don't even have to say, I'll say it for them, because like I've said before on different streams, no studio can tell you how to experience your fandom, how to enjoy your fandom. So CBS doesn't say, oh, it's a different universe. It doesn't matter what they say. They don't have the right to say it. It's up to us how we take this stuff in. And it's obvious that Discovery is its own universe. Picard is probably its own universe, but it's definitely not the same universe as Discovery. It's absolutely definitely not. I mean, you can see that in the series. The Klingons are different in Picard. Picard Klingons are normal. Discovery Klingons are... Remember Chet? We were talking about this the other day. Remember Chet in Weird Science when he became a poop monster at the end? That's what the new Klingons are. Or the Discovery Klingons. But if you take away the fact that they're supposed to be Klingons, in Season 2, the Klingon story, I was interested in the story. I couldn't get past that they're not Klingons. But the story of the characters, I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of interesting. I'm interested to see how that plays out. Yeah. No reboots. Well, certain franchises, no reboots. Other franchises out there, ripe for a reboot. Sliders, I have no problem with a Sliders reboot. JB, why isn't reboots a brand of boots? Oh my god! Made from recycled tires and milk jugs. Oh my god! JB, that is $1 million idea. Do that. You could do that. That's $1 million idea. Reboots. Some people would buy that. Lord Thoth. Preach it, JP. Yeah, I'm waiting for Bill and Ted. Waiting for Bill and Ted. I'm all about Bill and Ted. That's going to be one of the first super exciting new movies that comes out. It's supposed to come, still slated to come out in August. I'm all about it. I love Bill and Ted. All of it, everything good about it, everything bad about it. I love it. I take it all. I accept it all. Like, you know, your children may be flawed, but you love them anyway. But that's not the case with Bill and Ted. There are no flaws in Bill and Ted, and how dare you even think that there is? I wasn't fully won back. We've seen so little of the new Bill and Ted, like what's going on, scenes and stuff. But I didn't feel, and I love the dude, I felt from Alex Winters, I felt that was Bill. But I didn't quite feel that Ted was Ted. So I'm interested to see if when I watch the movie, if I feel like it's Bill and Ted, and not just Bill, with Keanu Reeves playing Ted. Ghostbusters 3, I can't wait to see what they do with that. I'm glad, as much as I much prefer Ghostbusters to be just some people in uniforms zapping ghosts and cracking wise while they do it, I like the fact that they're going different with the new Ghostbusters sequel, because it shows that they're not, they can't do anything to what we feel Ghostbusters should be, because they're going a different route. It just takes place in the same universe, but it's not really Ghostbusters, which I think is probably smart, because people aren't going to be like, oh, they're just trying to be Bill Murray, they're trying to redo that scene from the first movie or whatever. No, it's a whole different thing. So I think that's probably smart, because they can't take away, nor anyone could ever take away from anything that happened before, that you've experienced before. Nobody can put out something new that takes away something that was before. A lot of people like to say that they can, but no, your experiences were still your experiences. Nobody can change your old experiences with a new thing. Just can't. It's impossible. That's time travel, you guys. Yeah, I think they're going a smart route with Ghostbusters for that sequel. They're not trying to be the original, but yet it pays homage to the original. We need a Biodome sequel. No, I want a reboot. With Biodome, let's just be honest here. Biodome, we need some new actors. We need some new actors to play. Getting the original actors isn't going to work. We're going to need some new actors. Yeah, Star Trek Time Wars, Star Trek. Hell, you can do a Star Trek series that has nothing to do with space travel. You could just do the whole World War III. Just have a whole story that takes place in the Star Trek universe during World War III. You can do. There's you got 1,000 years to play with when it comes to Star Trek. Sequest, Space Above and Beyond, Stargate, some show, not a reboot, but some show in that universe. RoboCop TV show, the TV show was okay, but not as good as it could have been. Absolutely. Yeah, there's also a lot of great universes out there that have been created that'd be nice just to see some of the, like The Last of Us, right? That's a whole universe, a whole planet going through some stuff. And we just seen 3 characters now, going through stuff in their little part of the world. The next Last of Us can take place in London. Why not? India, Russia, Australia. Yeah, Jericho. World War III, a Star Trek series. Because World War III also had a bunch of that Terran storyline. We almost became the Terrans. I love to see, yeah, I'm the same. Oh, exactly the same, Daniel. We talk about this a lot on Twitch. We talk about this a lot because I would love it. I'd love to see a new Quantum Leap, not a reboot, a continuation. There was so much left in the can with regard to Quantum Leap, and I'd love to see a proper R-rated V series. Yeah, I think I said I guarantee you V is going to come back again at some point. I'd love to see Alienation come back. Alienation would be perfect for this day and age. Talk about social issues. Alienation would be perfect. But yeah, Quantum Leap. What I want for Quantum Leap is a new characters. You know, have it be Sam Beckett's son or daughter or grandkid, even. Probably grandkid would probably be more appropriate. That, you know, the whole Quantum Leap experiment was shut down because of what happened with Sam, but they still keep it running because Sam is still in the quarantine, or not quarantine, but he's in the isolation chamber or whatever they call it, as he leaps into all these different characters. They had to, you know, they're keeping him alive, but there's Sam's kid or grandkid is obsessed with finding their father or grandfather, and so they've been studying science. They want to try to get the experiment back up and running. They want to find their father or find their grandfather, right? They want to find Sam, but it goes wrong, and they end up getting in the same situation that Sam is in, leaping and all this stuff. So you get a new show, but it takes place in the same universe. Sam is out there. They were trying to find Sam, and they got lost in quantum. And but at some point, you can have it where you do run into Sam. You do a crossover. Sam shows up, you're like, oh my god, but you don't know how to get him out, and then, you know, maybe you help him and he ends up leaping and you're like, no, or he accidentally helps you and you end up leaping and then he's gone. He could, you know, you keep coming up across him. I think it'd be an amazing reboot that takes place with the same universe. It's a continuation kind of, but also it's new at the same time, and Sam Beckett shows up. Yeah, I want that too, Steven. We got to have that Cop Rock reboot. Actually, I don't think people would, in this day and age, people wouldn't care for a Cop Rock reboot. They'd be like, get off my screen. Double Dragon, we need that. Mandy Patinkin anything would be great. Yeah, I want Alienation. Just keep the same theme song. Alienation, Earth 2, Terra Nova, all of them could be brought back in some form. Absolutely. Will Smith, Hancock 2. Now, here's a question. The Orville has a universe. A big, beautiful universe. Planetary Union, all the different planets, all this stuff that they created, and it's wonderful, and it needs to be explored. But they did a what the hell is it called? A spin-off series of the Orville. They couldn't call it the Orville because the Orville is the name of the ship. Star Trek, it's great. You just call it Star Trek this, Star Trek that. But the Orville started off with the Orville. But if they did a spin-off, what in the world would we call it? Would they just call it the name of whatever ship we're on, or what? The the Redenbacher, the I don't know what they would do. I just know I hope it's not a space station. I like it being a ship out there getting stuff done. Yeah, I would love actually following the Krill. The Krill, of course, are going to be a big part of Season 3. Because we have our, the Orvers. The Planetary Union. Hey, Roman. Thank you very much for helping support the show.
Weird how some guys can treat a woman that way and somehow just not be bothered by it.
Yeah, just not be bothered by it. Thank you very much. Yeah, Planetary Union would work, but I just don't want to call it that. That just doesn't sound like a fun name for a show. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of as well. Planetary Union. Planetary Union Adventures! Yeah, I would love a live-action Hulk series as well. I love the Hulk from the Avengers series. Seth trekking shows. Yeah, well, yeah, so in Season 2, I'm sure we're going to be, hopefully completely exposing what's going on with Mockless. And we peeled back a little bit of layers in Season 1 with About a Girl. In Season 2, we peeled back more layers with Deflectors and Sanctuary. Season 3, I'm sure we're going to pull back all the layers, hopefully, to find out what is actually going on with Mockless. I have my theories as to where this all began, with the harsh conditions. With the harsh conditions of their planet that they evolved in. That's why Mocklins are so hardcore. They're strong. They can take a punch from a Selayan. They can eat anything. It's been mentioned a few times. Because of the harsh conditions, like their children grow up to be like a 12-year-old in 3 months. You know, they grow up very quickly. I have my theories that it all goes back to evolution. So, you know, survival of the fittest. You know, we had the episode Majority Rule. What would happen if you had a full, complete democracy where everyone gets a say, as opposed to earning your voice by not being a dick? And then same thing with Mocklin. Survival of the fittest is their number one thing. So as soon as they figured out that they can have kids without the women, because the female of the species would be the weaker to the male. Obviously, we could see that there. The women are probably a little bit weaker, a little bit smaller. That's usually the case. And as far as muscles and stuff go, not with the mind. Equals. Maybe even not as equal. Maybe women are more evolved when it comes to the mind. So they probably, early off in the days, they probably just killed all females, right? They probably just killed the women. And, but then they got sciencey, and they figured out how they can just do, you know, sex changes to make all the women men. So I'm guessing it's going to get exposed way back, generations and generations and generations, you know, times 500. The Krill are going to be showing up, of course, because we just got into the preliminary portion of a treaty with the Krill so that we can work together to save ourselves against the Kalon. But it's going to be a very tentative treaty. It's because, you know, the Krill are nuts. They're nutsoids. And I do know that in the next comic book, launch day, which comes out September 2nd, I believe, it's the Orville Season 2.5. Those stories in the comic books are going to be the bridge that leads us into some of the things that are going to be going on in Season 3. Very first issue is about the Krill. There's these people there's a race of people out there on a planet that used to be a long time ago part of the Union, and they dropped out a long time ago, and they're developing some sort of technology. And the Krill want to take those people out because they think that technology is some big super weapon, and the Union is trying to save the people from being destroyed by the Krill. But we have a treaty with the Krill, and we have no jurisdiction because it's not a Union planet anymore. So it's going to be about trying to get the Krill to not destroy these people, as well as keep the treaty going, because we need the Krill against the Kalon. Also, we're going to be doing, I know that they're doing a lot of Kalon stories in Season 3, because, you know, like we were talking about earlier, Isaac is a traitor, and people are going to be dealing with that. But also, we also need to go up against the Kalon. And there's going to be lots of pew-pews and Splosions in Season 3 because the budget is huge since they moved to Hulu. And I do know that the very first episode of Season 3 is a big action-packed adventure. They've said that the beginning of Season 1, that first episode, right at the beginning, is a huge, big to-do. I mean, they're putting their best foot forward. So I don't know. Are we going to be fighting against the Kalon? Are we going to pick this up right where we left off? Where, man, the Kalon are a threat. So we're going to have a big Kalon versus our little Union group of, heroes against the Kalon and start off with a big Splosion fest. The comics are considered soft canon, which means that the comics are canon. They are Orville canon. They're written by the same writers as the Orville. They are Orville canon, but if they just so happen at some point in an episode to do something that contradicts one of the comics, then the show canon takes precedent over the comics. That's what they've said. But I'm sure they're not going to contradict anything that happens in the comics. It's the same writers. Yeah, I wonder if some humans will see Isaac as a hero. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of humans that see him as a traitor, but not Ty. Ty is 100% all about seeing the good in Isaac. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew. Hold up. Wait a minute. It's a chopper. So yeah, the comics are considered canon unless something happens on the show that contradicts it. I would like to see the Krill fleshed out more from stereotypical zealots they were introduced to be, see them more as individuals as we got to see the Klingons and Ferengi over time. Yeah, Starius. Hey, Starius, how you been? I know that's their goal. Their goal is to see the Krill's side of things. Why they are the way they are, who they are as individuals. They even did that, like they said that that's part of the goal for next season with the Krill. You kind of see it a little bit in the pilot episode. When Ed and Kelly, well, they're on the bridge and they're at the end of the episode, they're talking to that Krill commander guy through the view screen, and Kelly asks him about marriage, about his wife. He's like, "Are you married?" He's like, "Yes." And she's like, "Would you do this with your against your wife's wishes or something like that?" And he's like, "No, marriage is work. You have to work on it and things like that." So you kind of saw right there in that first pilot episode that the Krill, despite their beliefs, are still real people living their real lives. Get to the chopper. Come on. Get to the chopper. You have to get to the chopper. Come on. You can do it. How much longer until season 3 drops of the Orville? Well, before the world pandemic, it was slated to come out probably around September or October, but now there's been a world pandemic. So it'll come out once the world pandemic is over. You're going to have to ask COVID-19. Oh, we just stream however long we want. I probably will end it here in a little bit because I do have some work to do on my other job that I'm doing. It would be funny and surprising if it turned out Avis was a creation of a human comic book artist from 400 years earlier. Oh my god, wouldn't that be hilarious? Like the Krill just found some sort of Earth book 400 years ago. I ain't got time to bleed. Oh yeah, we're gonna see of course we'll see a lot of Talia. Yeah, I'm sure we'll see Talia at least one episode. She seems to be a staple of the series. One Talia story. It has, Starius. It's been a long while. I'm glad you're here. It's not a tumor. Who is your daddy and what does he do? Wrenches. Gotta have those wrenches. Quaid, get your ass to Mars. But yeah, how long have we been streaming? So they started at 2, so yeah, it's been almost 2 hours. So yeah, we won't go on for too much longer, you guys. Hey, those are your lunches. Hey, Benjamin Jones, thank you so much.
Okay, I quit. I quit right now. I cannot work here anymore.
Gordon quits. I stay. Recently we realized that it's less than a month until Lower Decks is released, but still no trailer. Should we be worried? Any new news? No, I think it comes out, what, August 6th? We know the idea of the series. I'm fine with them not having a trailer, but I hear good things. I hear good things about it. But even even back when I was like, damn it, CBS Star Trek, which I'm not like that anymore, but I was at the time. Even when they announced that Lower Decks, I was like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. That seems like a fine idea. But yeah, Lower Decks, I'm looking forward to it, but it's not really important to me as far as being Star Trek. It's just a cartoon. It's just a funny little sketch cartoon thing. But the idea is great. They did put out the poster for it the other day. That's which I thought was brilliant, considering the idea of the show is the least important ship in the least important crew aboard the least important ship in Starfleet. Their tagline is rarely going where no one has gone before, because they're just a low-level ship that has, no real exciting stuff to do. I'm looking forward to it, but I think it'll be good. It's just not important to me as much as the live action stuff. But I am going to be subscribing, Ben, to CBS All Access for Lower Decks when it comes out. So I'll be watching it as it comes out every week and talking about it. I mean, they can't do much wrong with it. It's just a cartoon, but it seems like they have the right vibe going on with it. Also, I highly recommend, if you haven't watched it in a while, go watch Lower Decks TNG episode. It's a great episode. AliExpress has Orville cosplay hoodies. I've seen the hoodies. They look good. Yeah, they do look cool. I actually have an Orville uniform on the way. Matt Weiss with Pranakasha Productions wanted to send me an Orville uniform. So I'm going to be having a commander uniform. It's already been mailed out. But it'll probably take a while to get here because it's coming from like China. No news that I know of USS Callister. We were just talking about that yesterday, Piano Dean. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, that there's not a USS Callister news about the new series. If there is a new series, if it's official, it should have been in production forever ago. That was ridiculous. They dropped the ball on that, because that was one of the few things out there from a TV show, Black Mirror, where people were like, oh my God, that should be its own show. And they created a beautiful universe in that one episode. And it's such a great original idea. The fact that there hasn't been any updates on that I'm aware of is a travesty, really. Dropping the ball on something that would really go over well, I think. Hey, MS Estes, what's going on?
My
Benevolent
God,
Noob.
who makes these things? Okay, this is a hostile work environment.
Benevolent Noob. Aloha, JP. If you ever get burned out, consider the very creative and funny self-help video, Addicted to Hyenas. Just saying. Oh, that's me. I did that. Addicted to Hyenas. Oh my God, that's old school Egotastic FunTime. I didn't even get it, and then I was like, well, that sounds familiar. Yeah, that's when I did a bunch of little sketches I think that was part of, I don't know if it was part of the less you know, like the more you know. I did some the less you know sketches on Egotastic FunTime way back in the day. But that was a like a drugs public service announcement thing that I did. I can't even remember the joke. Addicted to hyenas. Yeah, just geek. I know. I've actually, in the last couple months, because of you guys, we've been geeking out so hard on stuff that I'm actually becoming more and more of a geek. And you guys are suggesting stuff to me, and then I suggest stuff to you, and then like we'll just reminisce on Star Trek or whatever, and I'll say something. I'm like, oh, but I can't remember the exact details, but one of you guys always know the details, and so then you let us know, and we all learn something, and then we go off on that topic. It's great. Yeah, Lower Decks TNG is great. The music during Picard informing the ship of Ensign Sato's death was very compelling. Starius Prime. Did I do a sound drop? Yeah, I did a sound drop for EMS, but in case I forgot.
I am sorry you are upset. Perhaps you are on your period.
One of those characters from Lower Decks has ended up in Starfleet Intelligence in the latest TNG novel. Oh, that's cool. I love it when they bring back, like even in the Picard series, it was just an offhand remark that Picard made to Rios, because Rios was, talking about his old captain, and Picard says, "Oh, I met him once. He seemed like a great Starfleet person." But he was second in command to my old friend. I can't remember her name. Marta something. But Marta is actually the character from Tapestry. When Picard goes back in time, Q sends him back in time, and he's reliving his life at Starfleet, and he has that girl that's his best friend, and then they end up getting jiggy with it, and it makes things weird. That's Marta. That's who they were talking about. And I did the research, and I was like, oh my God, they brought up the character from Tapestry just offhand. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Lord Thoth, JP, love your live streams. Try to be there for them all the time. Great work. Keep it up. Thank you, Lord Thoth. I am going back to doing at least one of these on YouTube every week. Still be doing Twitch streams multiple times a week because, wow, so much fun. This is fun as well. But, YouTube is a bunch of weirdos with their algorithms. But I said, to hell with the YouTube algorithm. I miss my YouTube peeps. So, that's right, you're my peeps. Enjoy you every Easter. So yeah, I'm coming back to, I'm saying F you YouTube algorithm. I'm coming back to do live shows at least once a week here on YouTube. And Lord Thoth just became an Ego Trooper, so that deserves a...
She speaks with the might of 100 soldiers.
That she does, Havina. JP, there is a fan cartoon from 2012 with artwork that looks a lot like what we've seen of Lower Decks. Yeah, Lower Decks has been a very Nickelodeon, looks very kind of like a Nickelodeon style. Well, it's done by the guy that does Rick and Morty, isn't it? Yeah, Tapestry, of course, is one of the standout episodes from The Next Generation. Yeah, the artwork from Lower Decks doesn't seem like anything super new to me. Not a new style, which is fine. YouTube peeps. Starius put YouTube peeps in emojis. I got it. I'm picking up what you're laying down, Starius. Yeah, well, every style has been a copied style on everything we've ever enjoyed. I like the cartoon. I like the animated style that they picked. I feel comfortable with it. I don't always feel comfortable with. There's just certain styles of animation I'm not a fan of, like that latest Batman series. The stories are great, but I don't like the animation style. I can't remember which one though, but it's one of the newer series, probably from a couple of years ago. And yeah, I very much like the animation style, like Batman the Animated Series from the 90s, that type of thing. Yeah, deep cut. Ooh, there was a lot. I did research on every episode of Picard, and there was a lot of deep cuts. I just kept discovering more and more and more. Beware the Batman. Last night I watched, for the first time, because I have HBO Max and it has the whole DC section, which I'm pretty sure DC Universe kind of seems like it's being phased out because they're moving their stuff to other streaming platforms, which is probably good because it turns out, live action wise especially, DC Universe makes high quality shows. I'm like, man, it's a shame that they've been hiding these shows behind their streaming service that not as many people have, even though it's not that expensive. So I'm glad they're sending their stuff out to different platforms that get more viewers. But yeah, Doom Patrol is now a Max original. Stargirl is now being officially moved completely to CW, and hopefully we're going to be getting a lot more stuff from DC Universe, because they've impressed me with the two shows I've watched of DC Universe. They've really impressed me. But last night I watched on HBO Max, I watched The Killing Joke, which of course was great. Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, doing it up with one of the really great Batman stories. All right, Dan Crane. And Dan Crane just upgraded his channel membership to Jaloja Squad. You went from Ego Trooper to Jaloja Squad. Welcome.
Jaloja!
Umbrella Academy? That's the show I should watch next. Last night I was like, man, I just finished, I'm all caught up with Doom Patrol. I binge watched Enterprise. I'm like, I need to pick another show to get caught up with because there's a new season coming. That's it. Umbrella Academy is the show that I should be binging right now because I never finished it. I just watched the first episode of season 1 and loved it, but I never went on. I stopped. I didn't keep watching it. So that's the one I need to do. I almost last night, Bathmore, almost did the I almost did the 7-day trial for DC Universe just so I could start watching Titans. Titans, when the trailer came out, it looked stupid and ridiculous, but I hear that that's not the case. I hear it's actually good. And I do know that Doom Patrol, an alternate version of Doom Patrol, is supposed to show up in an episode at some point. It's not the same Earth as the one from the series, though. Yeah, Umbrella Academy Season 2 is coming out, I guess, next month, you're saying. I knew it was coming out soon, so yeah, I should get caught up on that, because I would like to talk about that show. Now, of course, that's probably a show that gets dumped all at once, so a review of that show would have to be very different than normal weekly, like a show that comes out weekly, because there's no point, telling you right now, there's no point in doing an episode by episode review of a series that drops all at once. Watch the first episode. I learned this from Gary. Gary told me this from Nerdrotic. He said when those types of shows, what you do is you watch the first episode, you do a video about it, and then you watch the whole series, and then you do a video about the whole series. Yeah, Swamp Thing I hear great things about, but I know that show was canceled. Titans, I think Titans is doing another series. Doom Patrol, of course, right now, Doom Patrol Season 2 is currently airing. We have 4 more episodes left in Season 2. Season 2 only has 9 episodes. It was supposed to be 10 episodes, and they filmed most of that 10th episode. Most of the 10th episode is filmed, but it's probably being rolled into the 9th episode because they had to stop filming. They were almost done. They had a few more scenes left to do that were important scenes, but they got, because of the worldwide pandemic, it struck again. So our 10th episode season of Doom Patrol is only going to be 9. Don't know what they're going to do with the footage that they do have for that 10th episode. Yeah, I think doesn't Umbrella Academy come from comics? Everything comes from comics now. Right now, we're in the comic book age of Hollywood, where they're just using comic books to put out new stuff, but we're quickly moving into the video game era of Hollywood, where now they're taking video games and turning that into footage or to shows and movies. There was a Titan animated series fan episode that dropped yesterday. I'm a sort of, or the animated series. What, Star Trek? I'm sort of getting a bit tired of the whole dumped at once. I love sort of water cooler talk. Yeah, that's we chat about that, Jesper. It's an ongoing topic that we love talking about. It's some shows it's great to dump all at once, but usually super nerdy shows with high quality budgets, it kind of hurts us, the fans, from communing with each other because we don't have that water cooler talk, that, you know, one episode at a time where we're just discussing the one episode and really getting into that universe, really getting excited about that universe. We're talking about it weekly. It gets into our bones. It allows us to really have connections to each other, as well as get excited about merch for different shows. When they drop a show all at once, like The Expanse season 4 on Amazon. Amazon is changing how they put out shows, though, coming up here soon with The Boys. But The Expanse, you drop it all at once. Amazing adventure, incredible series, incredible season of a series. But we binged it in a couple days, and then we dropped it. We were done with it. We moved on to the next thing, because like I said, there's a million things out there for us to absorb. And as great as it was, I hardly remember much of it, because I lived that adventure, and I moved on to the next adventure after a couple days. But I do know that with The Boys Season 2, as well as some other show Amazon's coming out with, I think they announced that with The Boys coming up, they're going to drop the first 3 episodes all at once to get you hooked, and then the episodes will come out weekly, which means we'll be able to talk about it for a couple months as opposed to just a couple days. Yeah, dropping it all at once just doesn't work for certain types of shows. I don't want to have a one-night stand with The Expanse. I want to have a relationship with it. All right, Q Reality. We'll see you tomorrow for The Boys. Shows like Space Force, yeah, drop it all at once. That's great, because that's just a show we want to watch. We don't really gonna do a bunch of water cooler type chats with it. But other shows, especially shows with the universe going on, we need that weekly thing, because you want to sell merch. At least do it to sell merch shows. You get people so excited that they want to do cosplay, and they want to, buy T-shirts and lunch boxes and flavored condoms and all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, 3 episodes whets the appetite. Oh, well, good point, Larry. Larry says, JP, would not Carl Urban make a great Commander Riker? Yes, Carl Urban would make a great Commander Riker, but that's only because Carl Urban will make a great anything. You put him in any role, he's gonna do it. He's gonna be great in it. Starius Prime says, Justin Roiland of Rick and Morty has said that he wouldn't mind just seeing one episode released a month to ensure a sense of consistency over time, rather than having 3 large gaps between episodes. Oh wow, 3 large gaps. Yeah, I say get all the episodes finished and put them out on a weekly basis. But, because at least, we're having... I don't know what CBS usually releases things weekly, but I don't know what they're going to do. I would assume they're going to do it weekly just so they can keep people subscribed longer. I'm pretty sure they're not. I mean, it's just bad business, I think, to drop everything at once. If you're a streaming service, if you're getting monthly subscriptions from people, you're going to want to keep them on as long as you can. So putting things out weekly is just a better business model. Gotta make that money, you guys.
Give him all your money, you will find him funny. Give him all your money,
I highly recommend seeing the canceled show Almost Human with Carl Urban. Highly underrated. Wish it hadn't been canceled. So many shows get canceled, you guys, that are great shows. Firefly, best example, right? Gotta make that cheddar. How about just doing 20-minute episodes and making the season all at once beforehand? You know, old school. Oh, 20 episodes. Yeah, 20 episodes. Yeah, those days are gone. We're done with 20 episode seasons of anything that's got a big budget. Most sci-fi shows, anything on a streaming service, because they put so much money into everything. I mean, these shows are just so much money. Yeah, we're never going to have 20 episodes ever again in our lives. It's just too expensive. It takes way too much money to make 5 minutes of anything these days, let alone sci-fi effects-driven type shows. The more Splosions, the less episodes, you guys. That's just the way of the world, and it's always going to be that way for the rest of your life. I'm calling it now. That's what we're going to get. But we have 80 million things to watch. So it all works out. Less episodes, but also more episodes because there's too many things to watch. Yeah, but even with just like regulations over time and all that stuff, you are requirements change. So like it feels to me like you're required to hire too many people to make a show. People hire way too many writers, way too many effects people, way too many people on a set. I mean, you got someone that's there you got a gaffer there that throws down tape, but then you have an assistant to the gaffer, and I don't know what's going on, but they hire way too many people to make a show. I don't know if it's a legal requirement or what. Kind of feels like it. Yeah, Chicago PD makes 20 plus. All regular TV shows that don't have to spend a lot of money on their shows, yeah, you get 20. Cop dramas, court dramas, fireman dramas, ambulance dramas, nurse dramas, construction dramas, CSI dramas, BS dramas, and CBS dramas. Yeah, you get 20 episodes on those shows. They don't cost much to make. It's nerd stuff that costs a lot to make. There's no way, like, you'll never see 20 episodes of Game of Thrones. It just costs too much. Also, I don't know if I'd be able to not kill myself after getting into that many hours of Game of Thrones. Very expensive to make. But I will say, I think it's too expensive to make. I don't think it has to be as expensive as it is. JP dramas. Like if they remade Lost nowadays, it'd be like 12 episodes, which actually probably would have been a good idea for Lost. I love Lost so much, but there's probably too many episodes of Lost. You're really watering down the interest in it. Yeah, nerd stuff is expensive. Nerd stuff isn't for traditional television format anymore either. Yep, that's all the kinds of dramas. I got shrimp dramas, and court dramas, and comedies. Comedies get 20 episodes. Unless it's an expensive comedy. For instance, The Good Place. The Good Place is expensive. So you get less. But also you get a better story, because if you have to water it down, it's not going to be as good of a show. The old Land of the Lost series where they used Magic Cam with Marshall, Will, and Holly. Marshall, Will, and Holly. I just ignored the last episode of Lost. I think the second to last episode was a better finale. Yeah, because they were trying to wrap it up. I liked every episode of Lost, even the last episode, but they didn't need it. I would say Lost went on 2 seasons too long. Yeah, Avenue 5 also very expensive. That's why I think we got 9 episodes of Avenue 5. I loved Avenue 5, but once I was done with it, I loved the idea of it and a lot of things that happened, but it was off and on. It was a very uneven show. I love the idea of it. I love the performances of it. But there was lots of scenes where I'm like, huh? That didn't really quite play out as well. They should have done a couple extra takes to get the right vibe for that scene. But yeah, once it was done, I was like, okay, I'll jump back into this a year or so from now when they come back. But I'm not going to think about it much in between. Yeah, special effects are expensive and a little too expensive. One of the great problems of our time. There are just too many episodes of Lost. Somebody do something. Marty, we have to go back. Yeah, I loved Avenue 5. But once it was done, I was like, okay, moving on to the next thing. Yeah. Yeah, unions. Unions are good things and bad things at the same time. The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. is another cult fave that ended after 1 season. Fox had so many gems they've tossed out the door. Yeah, especially back then. You can't do shows. It's too risky to do a show that's outside of the box on primetime television. Like Briscoe County Jr., great, but it was weird doing like a comedy western, especially at that time. You couldn't go too far out of the box with certain things. Yeah, Harley Quinn is a show that I would like to watch. Yeah. A friend of mine visited the B5 set, said it was really cheap looking. Yeah, the actors have said that too. But you know, you film it and you do some lighting and you do things like that. I know Star Trek was actually pretty inexpensive to make back in the day. I mean, they had a good team with, they had a whole industry and a whole team with them that really knew how to get it done, but it wasn't super expensive. It's basically just a bunch of people talking to each other in hallways for most of the show, most of the episodes. People sitting at a table having a conference. Yeah, I really hope that Unreal Engine 5, it seems like a good tool. If the rumors are true, that it's simple to use and it can make it cheaper to make CGI for shows. Yeah, they'd still find a way to make it expensive. It's like, okay, we saved money here. Let's spend that money somewhere else. Sometimes too much money, unless you have somebody really great at the helm, like Seth MacFarlane, most times too much money takes away from the heart of the show and just adds to the paint. The color, the outside of the show, the visage of the show as opposed to the heart. I don't know. I heard a lot of stuff that was pretty from the cast that was pretty inexpensive, according to what type of show it was and how much money it was bringing in. It was inexpensive. Yeah, Future Man was great. Only 3 seasons, too short. Yeah, Future Man's amazing, but very expensive to make. I was actually surprised at the production quality of it for the type of show that it is. But yeah, sometimes shorter seasons and shorter runs are a good thing for a show. Get out why you want, you're leaving them wanting more. But if you gave them more, then they probably wouldn't want it. Yeah, the original series only had 8 planet shots the whole series. I don't know if there'll be a spin-off of Future Man, Dan, but I agree. The thing that I miss the most from Future Man is Wolf. Wolf is one of my favorite characters ever written in anything. Wolf is just a wondrous character. So complicated, so many layers, so unpredictable. I don't know what's up with Dune 2020. Yeah, I still haven't seen a trailer for Foundation, but people keep bringing it up. I need to check it out. I don't have Apple TV, nor do I have access to Apple TV on my television or my bank account. Most of the effects in Babylon 5 were created on Amiga 4000 computers with video toaster boards. We've come a long way in the last 20, 30 years. Yeah, one of the things that was... Because Babylon 5, I think, was one of the first kind of digital-looking effects in that type of sci-fi show for me on television. And they were weird. The effects were a little bit of a turn-off for me, despite the fact that the stories were so good. Yeah, Wolf was he lived in the 80s for a while. That was great, and he kept bringing it up in the later episodes and seasons. All right, you guys, we've done. We'll probably do 5 more minutes. That'd be a 2.5-hour show. I'm gonna look to see if GalaxyCon puts out a VOD, a replay of the Orville the Orville Q&A. They should. It was free, so you would think they would have a replay. They want people to come to their site, right? Rebjack, did you know that Troll is being made into a series produced using Unreal Engine? Troll, like the original Troll movie with Sonny Bono? Not Troll 2, which didn't even have trolls in it. It had goblins from Nilbog. Oh, they're eating him. Now they're gonna eat me. Oh no. You haven't seen Troll 2, do it. It's one of the best movies ever made. Yeah, I mentioned the 80s and 90s quite a bit in conversation, so I get it. Yeah, I don't think my brain was ready for full CG yet, nor were the creators ready for full CGI yet. Yeah, this is I'm going to say it right now. Egotastic FunTime Egopanions this is the best community on YouTube or Twitch or the internet. Not everybody says that, but it's actually true. You guys are the best. Absolute best. Always, having fun conversations, fun chats, elevating the chat, elevating the community. Every other channel out there with their community, the community can suck it. This is the best one. Change my mind, says the meme. B5 did shoot all of its scenes in widescreen, which was revolutionary for the time. However, unfortunately, the FX resolution did not hold up in the era of HD. Yeah, and sometimes you just gotta forgive that stuff and just pay attention to the stories and stuff, and just kind of like anytime a special effect comes up, just kind of cover your eyes a little bit until you hear somebody talking. Oh, thanks, Norman. And I'm glad you do interact here, because that's what this is about, is just us chilling out, having a conversation, being egopanions. Space 1999, I can still rewatch that show and their wire work. Yes, it seems like older shows that were using practical effects hold up better than older shows that were using digital effects. And anytime we see any shenanigans on screen, like oh, there's some wires. Oh, damn, you know, that looked kind of weird. We can forgive him. We always forgive it. Whereas CG is a little bit tougher to forgive. Hey, Leighton Brain. You're from Wales? So we got some Welsh in the chat. We got Welsh from Wales. I don't know how to say that correctly. Yeah, I can see that with Space Command. Now, great thing about Space Command, well, I don't know, it's not really about Space Command, but 2 of the actors from Space Command I have seen show up in Doom Patrol. The main captain, I can't remember the characters' names, but the main captain guy, the star of Space Command, and the actor who you've seen, I can't remember his name either, but he's a famous actor who plays his father. Both of those actors have shown up in Doom Patrol. One of them played, the older actor played Robot Man's dad in a flashback, and then the main star of Space Command, he's shown up in a couple episodes in flashbacks of Negative Man's flashbacks over in from the ant farm. I was like, oh my god, they're both in Space Command, awesome. Lord Thoth is tuning in here from Ottawa, you guys. If you guys think Babylon 5 the effects look bad, I'm just telling you that they look bad. They look dated, right? Because they are. They were experimenting in the 90s with the digital effects on television, which really didn't show up very often. Do not, and I repeat, do not watch it in 4K 85-inch television that tries to upscale. So yeah, sometimes it's great just to bring out the old CRT from the attic, plug it in, and watch some shows from that era, right? Yeah, totally in Doom Patrol. Now, the older actor, the father character, he just had a quick role, a real quick role in a flashback scene. It was great. He did it. Oh, you could just... Top-notch actors really know how to pull you in really quick, right? But the main Space Command actor that's in a couple episodes of Doom Patrol, ooh, his character is awesome. I'm like, ooh, you just love to hate him, right? I won't do any spoilers, but he's a bad guy. And I'm like, ooh, USOB, but he did a great job as well. Now, Enterprise holds up really damn well, but there are a few CGI scenes, especially with like characters, like they're in a giant but a giant area, and there's tons of people. The people walking around are usually CGI people. Doesn't quite hold up so well, but everything else, ships flying around, pew-pews, all that stuff holds up great. But that show was shot in HD and widescreen. Everything holds up in Enterprise today, except for some scenes where you have lots of people, like in an arena or in a giant facility somewhere walking around. That doesn't hold up. You have a BVM, broadcast video monitor, CRT. They're the best CRTs out there. Yeah, it sucks. There were so many shows that did shoot on film back in the day that you could just rescan and get a great 4K version of it. But man, shows that didn't shoot on film back in the day, you can't really remaster those very well at all. Yeah, I don't really watch the Magnum reboot or the MacGyver reboot or have an opinion on them, but I do know, since I was watching Magnum PI and MacGyver back in the day when they were new, that any new version of that isn't going to be the same. Isn't gonna appeal to me like that the original stuff did. Yeah, AI upscaling. Yeah, I love all seasons of Enterprise, but yeah, the first half of season 1, while I love it, is a little bit slow for me. But once they start getting their footing, every episode's pretty great. But man, season 3, all season 3 of Enterprise is a serialized Star Trek series, the entire season, and it worked, totally worked, because they had a lot of episodes in between the main serialized story that they had to stop and deal with a situation that was a situation that had a beginning, middle, and end. You had a resolution at the end of the episodes for those episodes. So it was both serialized and episodic at the same time, and it worked very well. The ball had huge pores. You can see that now. Yeah, we're going to need some video upscaling. A lot of the 90s will be lost. Like, I watch old episodes of Beverly Hills 90210. It's on Hulu, I think. And, man, it looks a lot more... The quality isn't as good as I remember. On CRT, it probably was great. Just looked like a normal show. But it looks like soap opera quality nowadays. Yeah, Enterprise got canceled. As soon as CBS got the rights to Star Trek, Les Moonves canceled Star Trek. A jerk. F you, Moonves.
CBS can suck my balls.
Alright, you guys. We did it. We've been hanging out all this time, and I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me, making my day brighter, making my week brighter. Tomorrow, don't forget, there's a link down below to Egotastic FunTime on Twitch. Twitch is like YouTube. You click on it and it works. It's not some special to do. Just click on it and it works, and you can sign up and you can chat if you want. It's completely free. We're going to be watching Season 1 of The Boys. All-day stream tomorrow, you guys. I'm going to be 9-10 hour stream. I'm going to be right here in the studio on Twitch, Egotastic FunTime. And if you have Amazon Prime, you connect it to your Twitch account, because Amazon owns Twitch. And you actually will just, if you're on my channel, The Boys will be playing right there. Right there. You don't have to go on Amazon to watch it. You just go on my channel and it'll be right there, and I'll have my little video screen up in the corner of my face, talking the whole time with you guys, watching The Boys together. I haven't watched The Boys since it came out last October, so I'm very excited to do that and get all caught up, because Season 2 of The Boys is coming out in just a couple months. So yeah, it's going to be a great time, and I'll see you guys there. Otherwise, I hope all your times are Egotastic Fun Times. And if you want to support this channel, this community, there's a bunch of links down there. They all do something. And I appreciate every bit of it. Keep helping to keep the lights on, to keep the community chatting with each other. And I'll see you very soon. And you already know I love you.